Hello, everybody. Welcome. Rosa Psychic Investigator. Everybody, welcome. Rosa Psychic Investigator. Solicit the protection. I'd like to ask for protection, a beautiful ray of light coming on top of my head as I breathe in. I fill my lungs as I breathe out. I create a circle. I step into it. I feel protected. I feel connected. I'd like to ask that information come only from the highest sources that create the good and only the good, and so it is. Okay. So, my rosary is here. So today's question, the current video's question, is about Trump's insulting of MBS. Now, it's so interesting, all of this, because we know that Trump owes everything to them. I made a whole video about this. And today, Trump comes out and openly mocks MBS. So I have the video here to show you, and we talk. Well, there's a lot to discuss because it touches on so many different things, right? So let's get started. So this is the situation. As I was explaining to you, I have a lot of background information here that I'm going to share before we ask the question, because it is so dumb. There's no other word for it, of Trump to do this. And we know that, you remember, right, that MBS in Saudi Arabia, you could be literally sentenced to death if you criticize the government or the king. To say Trump didn't do that. He did something 100 times worse. And of course, now I didn't see anything in any relevant newspaper that is right, American newspaper, but the video is there, and it happened during an investment conference, which is even worse, right? Because they have invested a lot of money in the U.S., right? Putting aside what they've done to the journalist Khashoggi, right? So you would think. So there's a lot that we have to talk about. So I'm going to show you more information about this conference, who was there, and then the fact that, curiously, I thought about this too. The day before, oh no, or was it? No, I think it was yesterday. Zelensky came to Saudi Arabia to ask for Ukraine's help with fighting Iranian drones, right? Because that's what's attacking most of these countries over there in the Gulf. And of course, Ukraine has a lot of expertise. And so there's videos of them together meeting. And we know that Trump is only loyal to one person, Putin. And that's his ride or die BFF, right? So I wonder if it has something to do with that. But it's just very strange, because knowing the behavior, like, I won't say the behavior, but the temperament of MBS. It's really interesting. So let's get started. So, of course, on top of this that I haven't even started talking about is the war. Like, we know that Saudi Arabia is under attack right now by Iran, and there's this whole war context, right? So that's and there have been articles that I've talked about. I made a whole video just pretty much about this. Articles that suggest that MBS is one of the people really pushing Trump to attack Iran because of their decades-long rivalry and among other things. So this is the context, right? So I want to kind of deconstruct this, because I find it very strange, and I think, God willing, there will be blowback for a lot of the bad people. Okay, now let's start with this conference. Where Trump was the main speaker. So this came out midweek, right? Today is Saturday, the 28th. President Donald Trump will be headlining a 3-day conference this week in Miami Beach, showcasing the power and wealth of Saudi Arabia, an annual bash that lures titans of finance and politics for a chance to tap into the kingdom's riches. This year, the war in Iran is hanging over the gathering. The invitation-only conference is put on by an organization affiliated with Saudi Arabia's $1 trillion Public Investment Fund, PIF, and is meant to be a smaller version of an annual conference in Riyadh, which organizers market as Davos in the desert. Presiding over the meeting is Yasser Al-Rumayyan, governor of the Sovereign Wealth Fund and chair of state oil giant Saudi Aramco. Along with Trump, Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff are expected to appear at the Future Investment Initiative Priority Summits, as the conference is called. Right? So Kushner, Trump, son-in-law, and Witkoff, a longtime friend and business associate of the president, have been serving as top U.S. envoys in Ukraine, the Gaza Strip, and Iran, leading talks on some of the world's most dangerous conflicts. So, I actually saw a clip of Jared, I think it was Jared Ross, like, a lot of people spoke at this conference, and then it was, that's the crowning moment. It was going to be Trump. Can you imagine? This is, like, they made all this effort and all that, and it's not that I'm, pro-Saudis necessarily, but it's just very rude. So let's see what he said. Let me show you the video.
He didn't think this was going to happen. He didn't think he'd be kissing my ass. He really didn't. He thought he'd be just another American president that was a loser, where the country was going downhill. But now he has to be nice to me. You tell him he better be nice to me. He's got to be. But it was really something
So the question is, why did Trump do this? It seems like the dumbest thing ever. Wow. So what I'm getting is that, in fact, right, the situation is really truly dire, and Saudi Arabia, it's it's a fact, right? They're being attacked, and it's a dangerous situation. The U.S. is also being attacked. Trump doesn't care either, right? But it's a fact, and I see that the prince is pushing Trump, but he's also desperate. I get it. He has reasons to be, right? So he is extrapolating the situation. Like, this, the thing that I find strange here is that MBS is exasperated with him wanting this and that, and Trump is, and from his perspective, he's taking advantage of the situation as a way to get more money, or like as a way to, because he's a sociopath. I mean, they all are in a way or another, right? Even at probably MBS and all that. But the point is that he enjoys. He feels like because Saudi Arabia is a tremendous, awful attack. He could kind of make fun of them. But I have a question. They are without a doubt, his biggest benefactor, and that of Jared. And again, it's not him being on some Fox News show. He is a guest at their conference on top of it. Why did he do that? Again, I don't get it. I see there is a piece of paper being ripped up. Okay, so I see that, yes, he's upset that they made a deal with Zelensky. Because I see that Trump thought, oh, I'm just going to take all their money. Since they're in this, like, dire situation, I'm just going to take, literally, I know it sounds insane, but it's like he thinks that he's just going to own all their it's just like all your bank accounts, the entire country is mine. Like, literally, oh, I save you and then I own you. That's how he thinks about it. So when he saw that the Saudis correctly are looking for other ways of defending themselves, including reaching out to Zelensky, then he feels that he's in a weaker position than he really is, and then he resorts to this. But I think Trump he's essentially he has this, like, instinctive kind of evil thing, and he wanted to dominate to kind of see, to be the main, like, I see that he value extractor out of the Saudis. And when he saw that Zelensky came, he got mad because he thought, oh, it wasn't supposed to be my game. And I see, this is the strangest thing. It's like he sees that Saudi is as weak, even though, like, he's their puppet, right? What is wrong with Trump? Like, seriously, and the guys, he's never faced consequences. It is unbelievable to me, honestly. What is wrong with him? Why? Okay, is he upset at MPS personally? Did he say he said no to some of the demands? Oh, and the other thing, guys, this is okay. I think it's a Russian thing, and they haven't been secretive about it. Their main goal with all of this like if you could encapsulate the biggest goal is to destroy American influence in the world. That very much includes the Middle East. So the goal of Iran of removing all of America's bases from the Middle East is also Russia's goal, right? So I see that MBS is like begging for help, but Trump, in a way, he's only really committed to um, Putin, right? So he really, it's like, wow. I think the MBS is begging him truly to stay. But guys, I think this whole story of the U.S. leaving, you know what to remind me of? The situation with Afghanistan where we had to abruptly leave. And this happened wasn't it in the last days of the last Trump administration? And and then the Russians took over immediately, right? So this to me, the same thing. Have you noticed how like suddenly like, oh, we're gonna have to go? I think Trump knows and it tells me yes, he knows their goals, and he knows that. So guys, okay, I'm shocked that what I think Trump is doing here is trying to extract as much money as possible from MBS before both Trump goes and MBS goes. Trump has zero, I mean zero loyalty to anybody again except Putin, I guess. But even if you helped him, if you give him billions and trillions or any other thing or whatever, he will betray you. And that's what's happening here. He senses a desperation from MBS. But at the same time, I feel like he knows that the goal is going to be accomplished. U.S. is going to have to leave. It has already left pretty much these bases. And like I said before, all these countries are going to be screwed. Okay. Especially the Gulf countries and then eventually Israel, right? Because the radars are destroyed and all that. So, wow. So that's that. Now I'm just, wow, guys, because this is just so bizarre to me. The guy is so crazy. So intensely evil, even to his own evil friends and associates. Okay. Now, what are going to be the next question is what are going to be the consequences for Trump and Jared and all that? Right? How is MBS going to react? So the next part of the question is how is MBS going to react? Oh, it's sliding. Hold on. So I'm sitting on my like weird like foam seat. Not phone seat. I have this thing for that because I'm sitting on my bed. So it's interesting. I know sometimes it gets a little shaky, but it is what it is. It is what it is. So, but it's comfortable for me, honestly. So that works. All right. So, how is MBS going to react to this? Because guys, if you go on Twitter, there's a lot of like Saudi accounts. Regular Saudis are really furious because, like I said at the beginning, to them culturally, it's just beyond, especially to be honest, somebody that really like helped Trump, right? So, all right. So, how is MBS going to react to this? Wow, he's furious. He's so angry, and you know that he's a very vindictive person. Okay, this is somebody who tortured his own family members. Somebody who like put it's like you just have to look him up. He's not normal. He has a lot of power over there. I just see that I see that and I think actually the flag of Saudi Arabia has a knife, a specific knife. He's like he has cursed the man, and he's saying it's like he has a very fragile ego at the same time. I don't think he's very developed emotionally. He's a serial killer, literally, although he doesn't do it himself, right? So criticizing him is punishable by death. Seriously, in my country, and I see that he feels that it's not just angry, but really feels betrayed because truly he supported Trump when others didn't. Remember, that was Trump's first visit was to Saudi Arabia. Oh, and there was the whole nuclear reactor thing that he was gonna. This is a long story, right? From the beginning, they were gonna do this deal for nuclear with Saudis. So now I see. So is he? It just rips all the paper, guys. Because really, wow. So I have a question: is MBS, because we have this story of MBS, right? I think the American press wants to paint MBS as the main culprit, other than Bibi. I think Bibi is the main person that pushed Trump to do this war in Iran. But MBS wants, at least up to now, he hates Iran more than anything. I guess he wants the destruction of Iran. But now that Trump has mocked him like this, is that enough? Like, is he gonna do something? Because now he could just be like, you know what? I'm not gonna, like, he could just cut ties with Trump. And we know what I really want, that he's gonna cut ties with Jared. Because we know that these evil people, all they care about is money. So he's a source for a lot of money for them. So is he gonna cut the financial ties with all these American companies that he has invested in? Because he had, let's right, the vision. Remember, he had this vision for 2030. That was his whole project. He wanted to wean Saudi Arabia's economy away from oil. And so the issue is that if he does cut the relationship, then what's gonna happen? And I had seen on the video I did before a few days ago that his government was gonna collapse, at least his reign. Okay, so what's he gonna do? I think he's just too angry and embarrassed. I think, and I see that wow, I think he has Jared's phone number, and he's like, "Give me back the money. I want to withdraw the money now." I think it's possible. Because he's not rational in a lot of ways. Again, imagine having all that money without ever having to work for it. He don't have a sense of what's right or wrong, even though he has good advisors I see here. But he is not. He's not measured. He's kind of crazy. So what's gonna happen here is Iran does make an overture, because they say, if you stop with the Americans, we can align, we can get together. And by the way, I'm getting here that Iran told him that we were not the ones who hit Aramco fields, the Israelis were. So, wow, wow, wow. Okay, guys, it's explaining a bit more the image I had of the palace coup. Now, I feel like even Israel could try to foment a palace coup like they're doing in Iran. That's crazy. Wow, it's just so much. I'm sorry. It's just like, even for me, it's like, wow, it's very dramatic. A lot of dramatic changes. Oh, and it's telling me rosy astrologically, of course. MBS is going to be the one of the ones that goes down, because they all came up together. They're going down together, is what I'm getting. But again, what about the issue with the tech bros? How is that going to impact the tech bros and these, like, OpenAI for say no, I can't. They can't. See, he's not returning calls because they have to reassess. Okay, it's saying that they think it's like, oh, God's way of telling us to focus on our own country, because we were so humiliated over there. So yeah, I think it was a huge mistake. Yes, huge mistake. And I think Jared and Trump's, maybe Jared's brother too, like, all the people that are associated with Trump and his family are gonna be targeted, I think. Okay, I'm gonna ask a question instead for them. No, it uh, are they going to do something? No, okay. They love the chainsaw. Hmm? What are they gonna do to the people? Because guys, all these, again, like I said, all these right wing, super right wing people depend on Saudi money and UAE money for their investments, including the Paramount thing, the one of the Larry Ellison's son, the other one, which is all of, like, pretty much all the big ones. Okay, they put in their money. So, I was gonna say Elon Musk too. So I just feel like they will pause it. They are gonna have to pause it because the damage is gonna prove to be worse. Okay. All right. So, wow, I understand. Let us for them. Let us for them. So now let me go to something serious, because it is related to Saudi Arabia. Since we're talking about it, okay, we need to address this. Now, we talked about it. Now there's Marines that were hurt in Saudi Arabia, so let's talk about it and ask if there's anything, what's going on with this, okay? And how is this going to be affected because of Trump's big mouth? Okay, so now let's go to American troops in Saudi Arabia. So here, Financial Times: Iranian strike injures U.S. troops at Saudi air base. Drone and missile strikes continued after 12 troops were hurt in an Iranian strike on the Prince Sultan Air Base in Saudi Arabia, one of the most significant attacks on American forces since the conflict started. Iran's Revolutionary Guards claimed they had also carried out attacks against U.S. forces in Kuwait and Dubai, causing heavy casualties. The U.S. military denied Iran's claim that its forces had been attacked and accused Tehran of manufacturing lies. Yemen's Houthis claimed responsibility for an attack on Israel. The U.S. said that a further 3,500 Marines and sailors had arrived in the Middle East, taking the total number of American troops in the region to more than 53,000. Okay, so how now going back to the situation with MBS, right? What is happening here? What's going to happen? Wow, I see that MBS is like he has had or is having some sort of mental breakdown. And he doesn't care. And I think he doesn't care about Americans. He doesn't care, just wants to protect I want to protect my kingdom. I want to do this and that. And so what happens? Okay, the thing that I think Saudis might, I think they're afraid of Trump still though, is that they might actually tell the truth about what has happened. And I see that, yes, the US is hiding massively the number of casualties. Okay. So it is really very disturbing, isn't it? This whole thing is very sad. So what's gonna happen again? Yeah, I see that the things are bad for Saudi Arabia, and I think any country in this position that doesn't even in ours too, right? That doesn't have competent leadership. So this is it. Okay? All right, guys. So thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Probably tonight, another video, but if not tomorrow. Bye-bye.